Welcome back. Now, South Africans are facing rolling blackouts. Once again, Eskom will move the country to stage 2 blackouts from tomorrow after a stage 3 and 4 weekend. The utility says this was necessary to replenish energy reserves. It also claims benefits of energy interventions won't be realized in the next 12 months. Let's find out what's in store for us from energy expert Samson Mamphweli, who speaks to us now virtually. Mr. Mamphweli, thank you very much for your time here on eNCA. Now, firstly, when it comes to Koeberg and the fact that it's now become, our most problematic power station compared to Medupi, which was before, do you think that the fact that this generator that is expected to return to South Africa in a couple of weeks will assist us with this problem?
Good afternoon to you and the viewers. The Unit 2 was supposed to have returned to service, giving us more than 900 megawatts, and that can assist us quite a lot in terms of cushioning on load shedding. It has not happened. Eskom is now saying that it will come back live in the next 2 to 3 weeks. When that happens, then it will provide a bit of relief. However, that will also depend on the state of the entire generation fleet at the time that this unit will be returning to service. Remember that the biggest challenge that we have is with the coal fleet, where most of these coal power stations were not properly maintained for quite a long time. So they break down without any notice at any point in time. And sometimes we get to a level where we lose up to 16,000 megawatts. That's massive, because if you add the 16,000 megawatts that we may lose to unplanned breakdowns, and you take into consideration the fact that in most cases Eskom has between 4,000 and 5,000 megawatts out for maintenance, and then you add the partial load losses that in the last time I checked were about 4,000 megawatts. That becomes a massive loss in the generation capacity. So other measures need to come on board as quickly as possible to ensure that we have additional generation capacity, and also the demand response part of things, or demand side management and energy efficiency measures. They need to come on board as quickly as possible.
And, the fact that usually Eskom says the period of spring and summer, or the hot period, is where a lot of replenishing happens, a lot of their maintenance happens. But we already saw that we were in stage 6 during the winter days, etc. So when you look at it, and in all honesty, are we in for better times in South Africa?
Not in a short term. The president has announced a plan, which is a very good plan when you look at it. That responds to a number of aspects that have got to do with load shedding, from the legal side of things to the technical side of things. The plan has got short-term, mid-term, and long-term solutions. But that plan cannot be implemented before it is basically confirmed by the various working groups that are looking at the plan in detail. So once the various working groups have confirmed the plan, then the implementation of parts of the plan will then kick in. Part of the plan can be implemented without necessarily waiting for the working groups to finalize what they are doing, but the major part of the plan cannot be implemented until it's confirmed. Eskom is right by saying that they don't see any changes in the next 12 months. We were hoping that the operationalization of the president's plan will kickstart within 6 months to 12 months, so that by the time we reach 12 months or so, we have reduced a risk of load shedding. And the short-term measures include your battery storage facilities that the president has announced. Eskom has been talking about replenishing of reserves, which is basically your diesel reserves, and your pumped storage reserves. So we need additional reserves so that when we generate more than what we can use, we can then store and then dispatch at a later stage when the system is constrained. So that's where some of the measures announced by the president will kick in, but at a later stage.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of South Africans don't want to hear, Mr. Mamphweli, at a later stage, because we've had this issue for quite a while. It's even affecting, for instance, industries in South Africa that used to do well, such as mining, etc. Those industries failed to create, a lot of jobs back in the second quarter of this year. So it's quite concerning. But looking at the fact that Eskom said today that 42 of its generators or its generating units actually went offline or collapsed, and the fact that it's already overspent on diesel. I mean, how long are we expected to accept this as our reality then?
So it boils down to the president's plan. And ever since load shedding started around 2008, 2009, back there has never been a proper diagnostics of the problem to establish what could be the actual problem. The president did that diagnostics before announcing the various measures. When you look at the president's plan, it's a solid plan. However, the disadvantage with plans is that they take time for them to bring the fruits. So the current plan that is there, it's a great plan and it's going to work. That I'm very much sure about.
Yeah.
The challenge is then that it's not going to work at the time that South Africans want to see the back of load shedding.
Yeah, and
because
probably
of
and probably by that time, South Africans would have possibly voted even the government that the same president leads out because of this particular problem. But thank you very much for speaking to us. That was Professor Samson Mamphweli, the director of the Center for Renewable and Sustainable Energy Studies at Stellenbosch University.